This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Raj Technologies. Myself, Raj. And I'm having totally 15 plus years of real-time experience and 23 plus years of training experience. This is my background, and the course what we are going to start over here is we call it as full stack Java developer. Before we see what is this course, let us first of all understand what is this full stack development. What is full stack development? Let us understand using a diagram. Right? So what are the course notes I am typing? Everything will be shared to you. I'll provide those all details at the end. Where to find these all notes, and the recording also will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. Right? Those all details I'll be providing at the last. So first of all, let us understand what is this full stack development. Now, full stack development. Now, so if you take any web application like Gmail, let us consider Gmail as we use regularly. So when you open Gmail like www.gmail.com, it's going to ask you what? Username and password. It is going to ask username and password. Username, password, and one login button. Here we'll be having the text fields where user can fill the data in the text field, username and password, and one submit button. The content whatever we display onto the browser, that we call it as what? We call it as front end. We call it as what? Front end or user interface design. The content whatever we display onto the browser, we call it as what? Front end part. And how to develop this front end? Using the web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, Bootstrap, Angular, or React. Angular or React. So the content, whatever we display onto the browser, which we call it as front end. I just started. So we are trying to understand what is this full stack development. So for that, I'm just taking one login application, like you can consider like Gmail. So when we open Gmail, it is going to ask you username and password and login button. The content, whatever we display onto the browser, we call it as front end or user interface design. And which technologies we use? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Angular, or React. And the people who take care of this front end part, we call them as front end developers. We call them as what? Front end developers or UI developers or web developers. So what we call them? Front end developers or user interface UI developers or web developers. Now, let us go with the username and password. Like if you take username like Raj123 and the password as Raj123. Now, where these details will be stored, how can we know that this user is authenticated? Wherever details will be present in database. Wherever user details will be present in the database. So let us go with the database part here. Here we go with the database. Where it contains our user details. Here it goes with the column headings like username, password. Then here we are having one user. Raj123 and password Raj123. So that people who take care of this database part, how to take care of this database? By using the database servers like MySQL, Oracle, DB2, SQL Server like this. And the people who take care of this database part, we call them as database developers or DBAs. DBAs means database administrators. Now, from our front end, can we connect to databases directly? Not possible. So this is the place where we go with the server side, or we can call it as backend. So where we go with what? The backend technologies. So we go with what? Backend technologies. You can even say server side programming or backend. So if it is related to Java, so we make use of Servlets or JSP or Spring MVC. If it is .NET, we make use of ASP.NET. If it is Python, we go for Django. We can use PHP like this. So these are server-side applications, server-side technologies. So from front end, once we enter our username and password, when we click on login, it connects to our server-side application. Then it's going to read our data using this server-side application. It's going to connect to database, and the results will be given back, like whether that user is present or not. The details are given back to server, and server will provide the response back to the user. Like it's going to display inbox page or some information like login failure like that. The people who take care of this server side, the backend, if they are related to Java, we call them as Java developers. If they are related to .NET developers, Python developers, PHP developers, or we can even say backend developers. We can even say what? Backend developers, right? So the people who take care of front-end part, front-end developers, the people who take care of backend developers, the people who take care of database part, database developers. Now, the people who take care of the complete role means they should be able to take care of front-end part, backend, and even database. We call them as full stack developers. We call them as what here? Full stack developers. So they should be able to play all the role. Complete project they should be able to handle. Clear? So what is the meaning of full stack development? Clear? Now, here coming to our content, I've divided this content in the form of modules. I've divided this content in the form of modules. So module 1 is we start with core Java. Module 1 we go with core Java. Then module 2 we go with database concepts. Module 2 we go with database concepts. Module 3 we go with web technologies, web development. Module 4 we go with advanced Java. We go with what? Advanced Java. Then module 5 we go with the frameworks. Module 5 we go with frameworks. Then module 6 that is very important one, Linux and AWS Cloud. Linux and AWS Cloud. Module 7, we go with real-time tools and DevOps tools. Module 8, we are going to do a project. Finally, we go with a project using all these concepts. Alright. So these are the modules we have divided. Then coming to this first one, Core Java. Core Java. Before we enter into this Core Java, even we call it as Java SC. Java SC. Java SC stands for Java Standard Edition. Java SC stands for what? Java Standard Edition. And the use is used to develop standalone or desktop applications. Used to develop what? Standalone or desktop applications. So what are the examples of standalone or desktop applications? Like calculator, paint, like MS Office, like Word, Excel, all these are desktop applications. Once we download and install, we need not connect to other system to run the application. They are independent. And the content, what we are going to discuss over here is, we initially start off with the programming concepts. Like the need is, so in order to learn these codes, I don't require any background of programming. I'm going to start from scratch. Everything I'm going to start from where? From scratch. No background is required for us. Just a basic idea on operating system is enough. Like how to create files, how to create folders, all those things. How to copy all those things. Then, so the need of these programming concepts is like whenever you want to enter any programming language like C or C++ or Java or .NET, we should have a basic idea on programming concepts so that entering into any programming will be easy. So that's the main reason why we initially discuss about programming concepts. Next, we go with Java introduction. Java introduction. Then we'll see how to download and install Java 24 version. Now the latest version of Java is 24. So we'll go with the latest version. How to download and install Java 24 version. Developing a Java application at command prompt. We'll see how to develop a Java application at command prompt. Then the next one, download and install Eclipse IDE. In our course, we are going to use Eclipse for developing our Java applications. Then we'll see developing a Java application in Eclipse IDE. Right? This completes our introduction part. Then we move to the next one, Java basics. In this basics, we'll be learning the basic concepts of programming, like the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, data types, operators, scanner class, mainly to read input from user, then if statement, switch statement, while loop, do while loop, for loop like this. So this is the place where we increase our programming and logical skills. Lot of examples we are going to do here. Then we move to the next one, arrays. The need of going with arrays is whenever you want to collect multiple elements, when we want to collect multiple values, then we make use of arrays, collection of data. Then the next and very, very important one, Java OOP. OOP stands for Object-Oriented Programming. So this is the main concept for us. And if you are good with object-oriented programming, understanding remaining topics of Java will be easy for us. In this object-oriented programming, we'll be learning about the meaning, how to create classes, how to create objects, this reference, constructors, static keyword, packages, inheritance, polymorphism, super reference, final keyword, inner classes, access modifiers, very important one, access modifiers, encapsulation, abstract classes, and interfaces. Right, very important concept for us. Then, once we have done with this object-oriented programming using Java, we move to the next one, LAN package. So the meaning of package is like in Java, a package is a collection of classes. So this concept is similar to folders. Why we create folders? To store related files. So package is also like a folder to store related classes. In this LAN package, we'll be learning about the predefined classes like object class, string class, string buffer class, string builder class, math class, wrapper classes like this. Next and very important one, exception handling. The meaning of exception is like a runtime error. Runtime error, meaning when we type the code, in order to see the result of our application, we have to run the program. So when we are running the program, at that time if you are getting errors, we call them as runtime errors or exceptions. Once exception occur, the application will get terminated. So to avoid that abnormal termination, we make use of this exception handling to make our application robust, strong enough. The next one, multi-threading. Multi-threading. So the meaning of multitasking is like opening multiple applications in our operating system. Like in my case, I have opened browser, Paint, Notepad, right? So like one more example, you are typing a document in Word, listening to the song simultaneously. That is multitasking. Then what is a thread is like? Inside one task, if you are able to do multiple activities. Like example, if you take Gmail, Gmail is a task. In that I can able to open multiple compose messages. Every compose message is a thread. If I am doing attachments, I can do multiple attachments. Every attachment is a thread. So threads are part of one task. One more good example is like our GoToMeeting only. In this, I can show the screen, it's a thread. I can record the class, it's a thread. I can speak with you, it's a thread. So threads are part of one task. And the use is performance. We can increase performance of our application by using multi-threading. One more very important one, collections. When we go with arrays, by using arrays also we can collect data. By using collections also we can collect data. But the drawback with arrays is like, here when we go with arrays, we have to mention the size, how many elements we want to collect. For example, if you mention the size as 50, we can collect only 50 elements. We cannot increase the size or we cannot decrease the size. So the drawback of arrays are fixed sizes. But in reality, we cannot go with fixed sizes. That is the place where we go with collections. Very important. Any project we take, we make use of collections in that. Okay. Next we go with lambda expressions, functional interfaces, and string API. I cannot elaborate more on this currently. We'll discuss more. These are some of the important features got added in Java 8 version. Next package. So IO means input output. IO means what here? Input output. The need of going with IO package is like the need of going with IO packages. Whatever the data we are using during runtime, it is temporary data. In order to store the data permanently, where we can store either in our hard disk, either in the form of data files or database tables. So this IO package is mainly used to manage the data files, to store data permanently. Once we have done with this core part, these are the contents under core part, then we move to the next one, module 2, that is database concepts. So we'll be learning database concepts using SQL. We go with MySQL. We'll be learning MySQL. And even we go with database concepts using NoSQL, where we'll be going with MongoDB. So we'll be learning two databases here. One is MySQL and one more MongoDB. So MongoDB comes under as NoSQL. Right? The next one, web technologies. So this web technologies, we can even say front-end design. We can develop the front-end design or UI design, user interface design. The main use of going with this front-end part is used to display the content onto the browser. So in order to display the content onto the web browser, we make use of this web technologies. And in our course, we will be learning the web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, XML, JSON, Bootstrap, TypeScript, and Angular. So these are the web technologies we'll be learning under our course. Coming to the next one, Advanced Java. This Advanced Java, we can even call it as Java EE. Java EE stands for Java Enterprise Edition. And the use is used to develop web applications. It's for web applications. So what are web applications? Like gmail.com, bookmyshow.com, makeMyTrip.com, facebook.com, all these are web applications. And the contents what we'll be learning is JDBC. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. From our Java program, in order to connect to databases, we make use of the technology Java Database Connectivity, JDBC. Then we go with Servlets. It's mainly to develop web applications. Then JS2 means Java Server Pages. Right? So these three topics we are going to discuss under Advanced Java. Coming to the next and very, very important one, frameworks. We'll be learning frameworks. Under these frameworks, we'll be learning the frameworks like Hibernate Framework. We'll go with Hibernate Framework. Then we go with Spring Framework. We go with Spring Boot. Then microservices using Spring Boot. So microservices, it's not a framework, but we are going to develop these microservices using Spring Boot. So microservices, it's a architecture. It's only about architecture. There. Next one, we'll be going with Linux and AWS Cloud. This is very, very important module for us. So the need of this AWS Cloud is, so we are going to create the servers. We are going to create the servers, databases in remote places, because our application need to be accessed at multiple areas. So we want to create servers at some remote places. For that one, we are going to make use of AWS Cloud. And in order to interact with this, we are going to make use of Linux commands. So here we'll be understanding about what is the need of going with this cloud. cloud computing introduction. We'll be going with AWS introduction, and we'll be learning how to create this AWS account. Then we go with Linux, the need of going with this Linux operating system. And we'll be going how to installation of Linux in EC2 of AWS. So we are going to create this Linux. We are going to install Linux in where? In EC2 of AWS. So for that, we should know what is this cloud computing, what is this AWS, how to create account. And after that only we can able to install this Linux. So by using this Linux commands only, we can make use of this one like remote database systems. Okay, we can install our Tomcat server, we can install Java, all those things we can manage by using Linux in AWS. Then we'll be learning Linux commands, how to installing Java in Linux, then installing Maven, it's a build tool in Linux. Then we'll be understanding about AWS services. Then we go with S3 buckets. We'll understand about load balancing. And one more, RDS, remote database system, to manage the remote databases. Then we'll be even learning deploying a Spring Boot application. We'll be learning Spring Boot now, Spring Boot application in AWS. So this is very, very important nowadays. Every developer should have an idea on this. Right? So not only Java developer, any developer, Python or PHP or .NET developer should have an idea on this Linux and AWS Cloud. Nowadays, it has become mandatory to developer. Then, in our course, we will be learning the real-time tools. These are very, very important, real-time and DevOps tools. We will be learning the tools like Maven tool, GitHub tool, JUnit tool with Mockito, then Lombok tool, Postman tool, it's mainly to test our REST APIs, then Zira project management tool, then Postman tool too. So already we have mentioned Postman, right? Lombok tool, Lombok we have done Log4j. It's for messaging. Then Docker, this is a DevOps tool. Docker, Zira, GitHub, all these are DevOps tools, and Jenkins. So this Docker and Jenkins are mainly for deploying our project. It's mainly for what? Deployment process it's going to take care. So these are the tools what we will be learning in our course. And finally, we go with a project. And this project, we develop this project using Spring Boot, microservices, and the front end part we take care by using Angular. So Angular will take care of the front end part, and back end we develop by using Spring Boot and microservices. And whatever the project we do, we are going to deploy that project using Docker and Jenkins. Right? Complete real-time exposure we are going to see in this course. Any questions? Anyone? Right? Then the duration of this course, the duration is, it takes 4 months, approximately 4 months. Then the time is Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. IST. Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. IST, and the class will go for max 1 hour. The class I'll be taking max for 1 hour. Right? Then, so whatever the notes I'm preparing, whatever I'm preparing, this complete notes, diagrams, everything, I'm going to keep it in this drive link. So I'll be sharing this drive link through chat of GoToMeeting. You can copy from there. I'm sharing the drive link, and you can copy this drive link to get the notes, diagrams, programs, anything for future. This is only for demo classes. First 5 demo classes only. You can find the details in this drive link. And in this drive link, and even I'll be mentioning what are the notes I'm writing now. So I'll be even mentioning YouTube link for today class recording. I'll be mentioning before I upload this file into this drive. I'll be even mentioning the YouTube link. Okay. So our YouTube channel name is Raj Online Trainings. So in this channel, I'm going to upload our video. The class recording I'll be uploading in this channel. Right? I'll be mentioning that. And coming to the next one, the fee part. So the fee for this course is totally 10,000 for this complete course. And you need to do the payment max by next Sunday, that is 27th July, max by 27th July. And the payments modes are like, you can do the process the payment using GPay or PhonePe to this number, that is 9949 550 291, right? Or you can even transfer to this bank account, Raj Technologies bank account. And okay, I'll be even sharing this document also, where you can even find the QR code to do the payment process. Okay, and once the payment is done, please share the payment screenshot to this WhatsApp number, that is 93904-73579, and you can even send it to the mail ID rajtechonlinetrainings@gmail.com. And please provide your details. Once you have done the payment, please provide your details like the name, your WhatsApp number, and email ID. Right? So that's about for this one demo part. The content what we are going to discuss here is very, very important. I've divided this content into modules. Like module 1, we go with core Java. Module 2, database concepts, where we learn MySQL and MongoDB. And we go with module 3, web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, XML, JSON, Bootstrap, TypeScript, and Angular. And advanced Java module 4, where we go with JDBC, Servlets, and JSP. And very, very important one, frameworks. We'll be going with Hibernate Framework, Spring Framework, Spring Boot. So here we'll be learning the modules like Spring Core module, Spring IOC module, Spring JDBC module, Spring Hibernate module. So we go with Spring Data JPA, Spring Web, Spring REST API, Spring REST, and Spring Security. All those modules will be covering under this Spring and Spring Boot. Then very, very important module, Linux and AWS Cloud. And module 7, we go with real-time tools and DevOps tools like Maven, GitHub, JUnit with Mockito, Lombok, Postman, Zira, Log4j, Docker, and Jenkins. And finally, we go with the project. The duration max, it goes with 4 months, and the classes will be Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. IST. So whatever the GoToMeeting link you are having, that same link we can use to join the next 4 classes. And we are going to share the new GoToMeeting link to the enrolled candidates. And you need to do the enrollment maximum by 27th of July by paying 10,000. Right? So any questions? Let me close for today. And tomorrow I want to start with the new topic. Let us go with the topic, programming concepts, and even we go with Java introduction, so that we can enter into Java very easily, right? Thank you very much. Thank you all.